Amazing guests. We have, first I want to introduce my co-host, substitute friend, Doug Robertson. Welcome back, Doug.
Hey, Doug. Thank you, Marnie.
How are things
Happy to
going?
be here. I'll do my best Jason impression. I was going to wear a bow tie, but I couldn't find one.
That's okay. We're so glad you're here. You're a veteran of KHOP88. Are things all right in Bend?
Things are good. We might have snow this week, a little freak freeze, but we'll see what happens. Well, we're at 3,500 feet, so things happen. But otherwise, it's beautiful.
Good. For those new, we usually do a weather check. And so we have like red flag, drought warning again in California, but that's a little bit usual here. So let's welcome all of our amazing guests, Doug. And so we're just gonna start out with Ms. Dena Baron Smith, live from DC. Dena.
Hello.
What's new?
What is new? I don't know. It kind of feels the same after 14 months of the same, but you know, 2 kids, husband, job, everybody's healthy. We're good.
What do you do in DC?
I spend your tax dollars. I'm an appropriator. I work on the committee for the House of Representatives that writes the bills that allocate the dollars for federal funding for all the agencies.
Wow.
Is what I do. Yeah. Yeah. I get to, it's been a great 20 some years of work, but I'm taking a page from the Kathy Tschida, Kate Stelmach book, and I am retiring at the end of August. So
wow, good for you.
The road trip is on, Gina.
I know, that's what I'm like. I'm gonna drive out to Kate, and then we're just gonna drive around and we're gonna visit all of you.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
But it's time.
And
Good for
kids, animals?
Yes, I have a 13-year-old who's still a kid, hasn't quite crossed over into animal territory, but he smells a little bit sometimes. But
Nice.
He is a joy. And 7th grade, through your kid's eyes, brings back so many memories of your own life that it's amazing and lovely and terrifying all at the same time, that I'm sure you guys all know. And then I have a 5th grade daughter who's graduating and believes that she should have been in middle school long ago. And she is my Leo, my redheaded Leo, who is the opposite of me, but she's my bright shiny light. So, and then we have a doodle who is the most spoiled of my children, Rosie, bed hog extraordinaire.
Dogs are the best.
They are the best. They really are.
Yeah.
And then I have a husband who is a pretty good guy too. So it all worked out.
That's super.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then Leigh Rydeski, where are you? What are you doing?
I am
welcome.
Thank you. The interloper from 89. I am still in Minneapolis, right outside Minneapolis. I have 3 kids, 2 of whom are no longer at home. My daughter is out by Dena. She's in grad school, and yeah. And then I have a 21-year-old son who is making his way between Duluth and Minneapolis to play baseball this summer. And he's taking some time off from school currently and working full time. And then I have a 15-year-old who is a freshman in high school, still distance learning, not happy that he's going to need to go back to in-person in the fall. So we'll deal with that later. And 2 dogs and a husband. And I work in marketing for basically a transportation infrastructure consulting firm. So
cool.
Yeah. So
Kathy Tschida, welcome back.
Thank you.
What's new? Did you bake a cake?
I did not bake it, but it is a family favorite. And if you do the math, if you can see the numbers, it'll add up.
lift it up a little bit.
It adds up to Marnie's birthday.
So our class, her birth year, and how many years since graduation.
Wow.
And it should come out to 50.
Wow.
Very
Thank
nice.
you. So glad you're here.
Yes.
And then Miss Kristin Arney Peters is on the internet.
It's like the first ever.
Where have you been?
Well, right now we're in Denver. We've been here, gosh, about 18 months. But really for the most part of the better part of the last 28 years, we've been overseas. So we recently relocated from India. We decided, well, our daughter is 15 and she said, I want to know what it's like to live in the States. Our timing probably could have been a little better as far as what's it like to live in the States. She is a freshman, but clearly she's been virtual all year. We have a dog and I work for a local nonprofit. We do a variety of things, but I'm fully submerged in COVID relief, rental relief, cash grants.
Do you write grants?
No, we're giving away.
Oh, you just give away.
Yeah, rental relief and cash for essential workers in the community. So folks that don't qualify for this federal stimulus check or unemployment benefits. So,
And then do you have animals?
yeah, we have a dog. She's right over here. She can't be too far away from me. She's a street dog that we adopted when we were in the Middle East. And we think she's about 10 now. And she's pretty happy in Denver. So India has hard on her.
I have a question for you about traveling, moving with animals long distances. We're kind of worried about moving with 4 cats just 10 hours away. How did your dog deal with moving on an airplane?
She did really well. And I was nervous too. I mean, completely normal feeling.
Yeah.
And
Did she have to quarantine?
She did not in any of the places that we moved, it's interesting. But yeah, no quarantine in Egypt or Israel, or not Israel, but India or here. And we did not, medicate? I mean, some people do, completely personal choice. I think we put like a t-shirt that smelled like us, in her crate. But yeah, they were really long haul flights and she did really well. So you're putting your cats on an airplane?
No, we're just putting them in the back of the Prius, but there's
yeah, just talk to them. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I have
have a litter box on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe we'll stop at Doug's house on the way. No, we're stopping in Bedford. Don't worry about it. I won't bring you 4 stinky cats. And Doug, would you like to reintroduce yourself to anyone who might not have seen you on your past visits on KHOP88?
Sure. I'm in Bend, Oregon, which is Central Oregon. We're the high desert. We're at 3,500 feet, and we're basically like outdoor Disneyland. Anything you like to do in the outdoors, you can do here. And it's about 100,000 people now. And when I started coming here in the late 80s in college, there was about 16,000 people. So it's grown a lot, and it's supposed to add 50,000 people in the next 10 years. So
What's it like to live somewhere that has such a booming population?
It's good and bad. I mean, the cost of living has gone up dramatically. It's so out of hand as far as people wanting to move here that like the housing prices have gone up like 20% in 2 months. So, and there's bidding wars, and yeah, you used to be able to buy a house here 20 years ago, like an older one for, 100, 120,000. And now that house would cost you 450 or to 600,000, depending on where it is. So but the good thing is that, more interesting people are moving here. We're getting more diversity. We've got, good healthcare and good schools. So it's good. It's a great place to live. Clean air, clean water. People are going to keep moving here. So
cool. Well, for everyone watching, thank you. It's amazing. I'm a little bit glassy-eyed because I haven't seen some of these beautiful faces in the 21st century. And so I'm so happy to be here. I have my cake.
Yum.
And so, and Chris has her cake too. Dena, you'll have to have cake. Oh, Leigh will have to have cake later. Okay, well, so I have a question. So one thing we do is we kind of start with like, sometimes where do we first remember each other. And so is it true, like Dena and Kathy, did you go to elementary school together?
I
No,
don't think so. I think I'm the only Alice Smith one here. Right?
and I'm
'Cause
Catherine
Chris
Kerr and
Logan-
Harley Hopkins.
Yeah.
And where did
Thank
you
you.
go? Lee?
I was at Glen Lake.
You were at Glen Lake. Okay.
So I was probably, was I the only West?
Yeah, if you went to West, because I don't remember you from middle school
No,
at all.
Yeah, I was at North,
And we
but
were
only
on
for
North.
ninth
I
grade.
think all of you were at
Yeah.
North. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into so Chris, I don't remember when I met you. Do you remember, like, what's your earliest memory of me?
Well, it has to be 6th grade because I went to 3 elementary schools.
Okay.
So I think it was Westwood, but then they closed, and then I went to Tanglin, and then they redrew the lines, and so then I went to Meadowbrook in 6th grade, and I must have met you then, right?
In band, maybe.
Yeah, because you were at Meadowbrook, right?
I was at Meadowbrook in band,
Yeah.
and as Warren, Chris, I might share the story. One of my earliest memories of Chris is band related because I remember we were little girls, like 12 years old, you know, and then I said something, she said something I went to her house or something, and she's like, something happened. I'm like, what happened? And she said, I was supposed to clean my trumpet, and I made a boiling pot of water, and I put in my entire trumpet, and I just learned I was only supposed to do the mouthpiece. Now, do you remember this at all, Chris?
I don't, but it must have continued working because I don't remember having to beg my parents for a new one.
I'm not sure. I mean, that's where the memories warp and fade and stuff, but like, it might have been like a really big deal to your parents.
Probably made more of an impact on them.
Do you still play the trumpet?
No, actually, my daughter does. She played in band. Well, she hasn't this year, but she took on the trumpet. My husband also played the trumpet. So apparently that was a prereq for Peter.
Right.
Okay, well, we're working our way through just a little overview of our friendships. And so I don't recall meeting Dena and Kathy. Do you, Chris, when we went to North?
It just seems like we were always together. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we met, but I don't have a single memory without you guys. I don't. I mean, Jason was in touch many months ago, and I said every single memory I have, every single memory was with you guys. And like, we would leave school, and I couldn't wait to get home to get on the phone to talk to one of you guys to dissect the day and, you know, talk. I mean, every single memory, and it's all good. I mean, really, I don't remember when we met, but I don't remember a time without you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Me neither. How about you, Dena and Kathy? Do you have like
First memories of Marnie.
each other?
I remember, so Arnie, back in, you know, where you sat in the same row, it went sometimes Anberg, Arnie, Baron, Bechtold, Blonigan.
I remember that too. Vicky Abel, Kristin Arney, Rachel Robertson. Yeah.
And so maybe we sat in like in 8th grade, maybe we were all in that row, but I was always on, like, if you were facing the front of the room, I was always the far right-hand side with this group of people next to me and behind me. Like, finding out that Kurt and Megan had both passed was just like such a kind of a hole all of a sudden, and that memory, that to know that these people who I remember so fondly gone. But and so sometimes, like, I remember Marnie zooming around, like you were a very a force, a light, like in the hallway. I remember that. And Kathy, I just remember like notes in green ink.
Yeah. I wrote in green pen all the time.
Yes.
All the time. I don't know why or when I started that, but yeah.
It was awesome though. Why wouldn't it be? What are you wearing to Valley Fair? Green ink.
Right.
And and Leigh in high school, yeah.
And so, Kathy, do you have any early recollections of us in middle school?
No, 0. I don't know how I met any of you because I'm a T. So I was in our lockers, even at the high school. I don't know what they were in middle school, maybe by your class or something. But, you know, it was Tweston, Turner, Truckman, Van Sloan. You know, I was not really seated by any of you in class, and I was not real smarty pants. So I wasn't in any advanced classes or honors classes or anything. But I do, like Chris said, I remember being with you guys all the time. Not like, I was just looking over pictures too. And that one night we kidnapped Jenny, went back to your house, Chris, and danced around. That was fun. That was a great picture too. Dena, you were wearing those stockings over your face. Right. Like every picture I have is just a historical. And yeah, Marnie, it'd be nice if we could put some of those pictures on.
Shall we try that?
Chris with the tutu, and you don't have to try now, but you know, we'll put them on the.
We are
Facebook
getting a lot of
page.
people
They're
wishing you happy
so funny.
birthday, Marnie.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, Troy Finns wished you happy birthday. Chad Alt is
Thank you.
watching. Natalie George, Stacy Semler, happy birthday. Stacy Semler says, Dena's here.
Oh my gosh. Stacy and I go way back.
Yeah.
Long time. Elementary school.
Jenny Merritt says happy birthday.
That's Jenny Anderson, Chris. in
A
case-
kidnapped,
No.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you, everyone. No, I also have no memory of meeting Leigh, but then also once I started high school, thinking like I was always with Leigh.
Yeah.
It would have been your junior year because I think we met in student senate. I think. I mean, that had to be where we met,
Oh, that's
and
a
then
good
you
theory.
just brought me along, and so then I met everybody else.
So
But
you.
I felt like we were always together my sophomore year once I started
Mhm.
high school.
So that, I think that's a good working theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Well, I think we should have some cake because I know some people actually brought cake.
Yeah, everybody who has cake at their own house, put your picture on the Facebook.
Okay. I have
So
a candle.
later, Marnie can see what everybody had. What are you doing for your birthday, Marnie, on your actual birthday? Are you moving?
Well, I'm celebrating for 50 days, ending up
Okay.
with the big move.
What day is your actual birthday?
Sunday. So these candles are from Sarah Strandberg, who came to my house 2 weeks ago with cake and oysters.
Nice.
Nice.
Lovely.
Okay.
I don't have any cake.
You don't have
I
any
don't
cake?
have cake either.
Okay. Blowing. Ready, set. You can blow 2 birds, right?
Yay.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. Should I open my present?
Sure.
You should open your present.
This is the first, well, we've been having some theme shows. Oh, look at how beautiful this card is. Whoa. I'm not
And
gonna
who
do
is
it
this
justice.
present from?
This is from Kathy, Tschida, Kate Stelmach. I'm just gonna call you all your names.
I know. You can just say Kathy. So push
I
it
know.
in
Push it in.
or pull it out. 2 corners go in, 2 corners go out. There you go.
It's so pretty, thank you.
Picture box card.
Okay, then I wanna hear everyone, I'm the last one, even Leigh is 50.
Did you skip a grade? How did that happen, Marnie?
I skipped a grade.
A grade or 2 or
I skipped a grade. First grade,
in elementary? Okay.
I counted too high.
So they said you
That's
can
what they
skip.
said. Go up to the second
Go to
grade.
2nd grade.
Go to second grade, silly woman. Okay, I'm gonna rip this open.
One side has just 2 easy pieces of tape, hopefully.
Okay, no, I'm good. I can multitask sometimes. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. Okay, the first thing is a dish towel, which everyone needs. A friend will bail you out of jail. A true friend will be sitting next to you saying, damn, that was fun. That's lovely. I still, trivia, have not been arrested yet.
Yeah,
Well, you were arrested for smoking, weren't
gotta
you?
have goals.
When you were 12.
I actually well, hold on. Oh. Flannel and fedora candle smells like a road trip to Portland. How did you do that?
Gina,
Oh,
we can pick up Chris and Leigh on the way.
yes.
Open it up. Does it smell like Portland?
My daughter smelled it. She goes, I don't want to live in Portland.
And you'll wear flannels and fedoras, but what does oak moss and amber isn't a memory, it's the scent.
Right.
It's the scent, yeah. But then it's called Road Trip to Portland. So the original plan was, because you were going to be 50, that I was going to get you 50 things to open. And then I took pity on you because you were moving soon, and I didn't think you needed to have 50 things to move, but wait for 51 because you'll still be doing these.
Yes.
Because you won't be through the entire class yet of 605 or whatever we were. So I figured
there's
next
probably
year,
4
look
years.
out for 51 things.
Yes.
Or 51 people at your house. I don't know. We'll see.
That'll be fine. Okay, well, my cake is really good. So what else is new with all of you? Dena, has DC changed much now that we have a new president?
Yes, I think so, but it's been more stark. I think thinking back like to the time that I started at the House of Representatives compared to now, and it's just meaner, at least at work. I think one good thing for DC itself, like the District of Columbia, is that there's a lot more residents who live here and care about the district. And, you know, on the one hand, that brings more gentrification, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, I think having a base of people who are normal, everyday citizens who do not everything about government, I think has been really good. So, yeah, but as for the, like, you sort of feel like you can read CNN or MSNBC or the Washington Post, and it used to be sort of like a little seizing heart moment of what you were going to read next. So I feel like there's a little less drama, and unknown is gone when you, like, it's going to be okay. Like, it's a little more stable. So that's good.
That's an interesting question. Does anyone have any questions or memories of Dena that they want to share, since I'm going to shine the spotlight on all of you instead of me?
I want to know something though, because I also noticed this in that picture, and Kate brought it up. Who was on that t-shirt? Was it Lionel Richie?
Oh, I'm going to try and do it.
Do you remember the picture?
Because I thought that same thing. I'm like,
Well, it sort of seemed like the time, but I didn't really imagine her owning something with Lionel Richie on it. But it just kind of, when all you could see was this, right?
The picture of us with the books?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look at it that, I couldn't see it that closely, but I did, however, find my first concert was Lionel Richie. I'm going to confess. It was Andrea Haskevitz.
What? Chris? Oh.
And who else was there? Was it Marnie? Were you there?
Maybe.
Oh, I might not have brought it up. I found the ticket stub from 1984. Tina Turner opened, which now I'm more like, oh my God, I saw Tina Turner live. What the heck?
Right.
Wait.
That was amazing. I was 14 and I didn't know better.
Well, it's interesting. I was on the verge of asking Andrea Haskevitz to come, but I think she's going to have her own show. But the only time I got not arrested, taken in a cop car and brought home, I was with Andrea Haskevitz at Lions Park in seventh grade. And I had my first cigarette with Andrea, and it was during the middle of the day, and I saw the cop car slowly like come on the grass and drive towards us. And they put us in the car and drove me home 1 block.
Yeah.
And they knock on the door and give my mom a ticket and me. And my mom was a little bit of a special person. She's like, I'm so proud of you, honey. I'm so worried you're going to grow up to be straight laced. And she put it on the fridge. And I was so mortified because she was always like, you're too straight laced, Marnie. So
that story explains why you had parties in your basement with the hot tub.
Yeah,
Those were great memories. Yeah.
Those were.
Yeah. They were awesome.
And we also used to go, was it over to your uncle's house?
Yes. Yes. When they just moved in and there was barely any furniture, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Uncle David, who lived in the basement?
Well, we had many people who lived in the basement. Does anyone remember the astrologer who lived in my basement?
Yes.
No, but they had the
triangle.
the pyramid.
Hey, Leigh, do you want to explain your memory of the astrologer who lived in my basement?
I don't know that I ever met the astrologer. I just remember the metal pyramid triangle thing that we would put on our heads.
Yes.
But I don't remember ever meeting the actual owner of that.
The pyramid. Chris, do you remember?
Oh, I remember. And is this a family show or can I?
So you can
Go for it.
First time I saw it.
What?
Oh,
In my basement?
well, because he left it there on the table, and we were like, "Why not?"
I don't remember that.
What was it?
Really? Yeah, I remember that he left some stuff, and we just decided why not. And then we I think it was like, oh, I think we must be hungry now. We must have the munchies now. So then we were like, I remember that vividly. And we went down to your hot tub and we listened to like Friends Are Friends Forever. And you don't remember that?
Not at all. No, not at all.
That's why they call it dope, Marnie.
Were we in middle school or high school?
No, high school for sure.
His name was Paul Tschida. He was an astrologer, and he had like pyramids, and my mother would like meditate with him, and they were pyramids on their heads.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Oh, that's a good memory.
Marnie
So,
and Kristin, do you remember what we did on the night of your junior prom? Do you remember what movie we watched? We were not at prom. You guys weren't at prom.
I only went to prom senior year. So what?
Me too.
What did we do?
We were at Marnie's house and we watched a movie called Nice Girls Don't Explode.
Oh,
And I searched high and low for this thing because I kept telling my daughter how funny this movie was.
Yeah.
And I made her watch it with me at one point. Not quite as funny now, but at the time it was hysterical.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
It's funny you bring that
I've never heard of that.
Not many people have.
I remember that, and recently I did that with my adolescent, and she didn't think it was that funny at all, and I didn't think it was that funny.
No.
It's a little bit of a demented adolescent mother film.
Yeah. Very much so.
That's
Which,
very-
as adolescents ourselves, I think we thought it was
Yeah.
very funny, but not as much now.
oh my goodness.
Right. My daughter always tells me that things we think are funny, they have a different sense of humor. So. They don't think they're funny. So Karen McIntyre chimed in that Girl Scouts in elementary school, our moms were leaders.
Yeah.
Does that ring anything for anyone?
For me,
Yeah.
Karen's mom and my mom taught school together before we were born. And so rolling into kindergarten at Harley Hopkins, like my mom and Lila were already friends. And Stacy Semler's mom was
Mhm.
there, Judy, Lila, and my mom. And so just I remember like if I was going to run away from home, I was going to run over to Mrs. McIntyre's house and I was going to live with them for a while. But like for a while, when my parents lived in Texas and we would be going back to Minnesota, because that's where my brothers still live, like for holidays, like we would gather, but we didn't have a place to stay. The McIntyres just let us stay in their townhouse. Mrs. McIntyre used to dig up all the photos that my mom would send for Christmas, and she would put them out around the house as if we lived in the McIntyre's house. And just so lovely. And when I moved to DC, my mom insisted on driving out with me, and our stop from Minneapolis to the Chicago area, Naperville, we stayed with Dave and Lila and Karen. I think you were still there, like you were finished with school and getting ready to start teaching. I remember that quite well. And lovingly, like the McIntyres, the parents, they actually came out to DC for my wedding. So that family holds a really special place in my heart.
Fantastic.
And yeah, I have a feeling like, I just feel like that our moms are somewhere in heaven, like lunching all the time and talking about us incessantly. So good vibes to you guys.
Totally.
Yeah. Girl Scouts.
Great.
Krista Kylo came out for business and we were going to meet up and I'm like, oh, you know what? I have a Girl Scout meeting, but I can go afterwards. And she's like, of course you do.
So I'm interested in maybe prompting some memories of, as you know, since we grew up so closely together, is there anything that you know, when you see your children growing up or growing up above middle, is there something about, well, what else do you remember? Help me out. I'm 50.
Honey, we're all 50.
51-ish.
I'm almost 52.
Oh, well, there.
So I can't remember anything.
So Kathy, Tschida, and I hung out because we worked there, so it wasn't really hanging out. The village center something.
Yeah.
I was at the drugstore and you were at Pier 1 and peanut M&Ms. Was that your snack? What was it?
Probably.
Like, what was it?
Oh, both of those, but probably peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
But we would always go next door to get something for a snack on a break. So, and you had the pop machine, I think, in your store.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Leigh, did you work in high school?
I didn't.
You didn't. You were a student.
A candy striper at Methodist for a while.
Oh, I did that also. Where did you work?
I was on the flower cart.
Me too.
And I worked in the gift shop, and I worked
Me
in
too.
the little cafe.
Yeah.
Which was my least favorite. And told me I should never ever be a waitress because I sucked. I was so bad. But
yeah.
I
worked in the gift shop mostly with Jill Underdahl because she was there as well. But I think delivering flowers was my favorite.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Hey Leigh, I was asked to be an extra as a waitress in an advertisement, and I got fired because I was such a bad fake waitress. I didn't even talk. I didn't have any real food on my tray, like fake food on my tray, and they're like, Goodman, you're out of there. Chris, did you work in school when you were living in Minnesota, in high school or middle school?
I worked at Lady Foot Locker.
Oh.
Nice.
Like, yeah. And gosh, I worked as a candy cart person in at a nursing home, but I don't think that was high school. I think that was younger. So that's,
were you a camp counselor?
Sorry?
Weren't you a camp counselor?
I was, but wasn't that in university? In the summers? I think, I worked at the Park and Rec for a few summers in Golden Valley. And
someone on Facebook says you had a skunk for a pet.
Yes.
Susan Tweston. Susan Tweston said.
Oh, High Sue. Yes. We had two. We had Lily of the Valley and Mabel. And we got them from the Humane Society, and they were supposed to be descented, but you could just never get that smell out of their fur. But they were very friendly, and they enjoyed hanging on to our dog Flash's tail, and he would run around. And so yes, good memory, Sue. I was going to say to Kate, that I remember going up to the castle.
Yes, thank you. Not very many friends got to go there. And my kids have been there once, just a few years ago, like maybe 5 years ago. My parents' family don't own that farm anymore. They sold it to the gravel company that was mining off of it. So it's not accessible to us anymore, but that was super fun. I loved snowmobiling. That was awesome. Yeah. It was like 200 acres that they own.
Yeah.
You have a castle?
Well, it's more of a cabin, but it's my dad's side of the family. And it was like kind of a one room cabin. And then they would get something and add it on. So it ended up just being this like grouping of little buildings. So there'd be little things all over. And there was a barrel stove and a chimney fireplace. And if you slept next to the barrel stove, you had to stoke it at night to keep it warm and stuff. And it was an outhouse. There was no electricity or plumbing or anything. And then we'd go snowmobiling. And yeah, I'm so happy that my kids got to go there. And it's when you drive a snowmobile yourself, it's great. But if you're a parent with a kid in the front, like all the years that my dad drove with a child in front of him, I drove with Emma. She was our, youngest one. And your arms, you have to do all the work of shifting the weight and everything. And I went in and I just gave my dad a big hug. I said, thank you, because he went for years with a child in front of him. And it's so hard to enjoy snowmobiling that way. But yeah, that was fun. I'm glad you got to go. I don't think I have any pictures. My dad might though. I'll look.
Where was the cabin?
It's probably technically in Walker. It's on 10 Mile Lake, if anybody really remembers where the lakes are. I shouldn't say it, but that's where we'd go to, the closest lake. And then we'd always go up to like Eopowdet, Leech Lake and stuff. So that kind of stuff.
And did you ice fish?
I personally did not. No,
you did not.
But a lot of people in the family, a lot of people that lived up there, and my dad's side of the family would ice fish and stuff. But yeah, snowmobiling was a really fun thing to grow up doing.
A lot of people in Bend snowmobile up on the mountains.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Well, I have a few regular questions for our 3 first timers. So one of the things that we always ask is if there was a teacher that influenced you, that you have a
special memories.
Yeah, it could be a good one or a bad one. Does someone
I have a bad one, but I don't want to talk about that. I have 2, but I feel really embarrassed because I've been racking my brain. I loved my Spanish teacher.
Mrs. Myers.
No, that wasn't her name, was it?
Wasn't that her name, Mrs. Myers?
Was there more than one?
In high school. You're thinking middle school, right? Was it Mrs.
Myers?
Who is our high school Spanish teacher?
Wasn't it Mrs. Myers?
People have been talking about her, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems, it doesn't fit, but okay. I remember her clearly.
Would it be a middle school Spanish teacher?
No, I'm really thinking of really short, dark hair, and maybe that is it, but I really thought it was something else. But again, I'm 50 plus, so I can't remember. And I remember Mr. Graff, the judo. Was he social studies as well?
English.
Okay, see, I remember him. I mean, I had him for English, but I remembered really the judo. And I remember still the words of wisdom that you said. Remember, we'd have to stand up and say like words of wisdom before we would say.
Yes.
Marnie said, it is better. Oh, if you hoot with the owls at night, you cannot soar with the eagles in the morning. How do I remember that?
So profound.
Mm-hmm. No, I still remember.
Well, so I was in judo. Kathy, did you do judo with us?
I did not make the advanced class. I took the first class, and one of those pictures I sent you is Chris and Marnie doing a little judo in your basement with you.
Okay,
did you get my emails? So
I was not multitasking.
That's okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I took one class, but not at the end of the year, 4th quarter, he took the best kids, right, and offered them the advanced class. That was not me. That was Marnie.
Chris, well, thank you. I think he might still be alive. I've been trying to find Peter Graf we call him 2 Fs but maybe make an exception and invite him on the show because he was a favorite for many people. How about you, Leigh? Do you have a teacher you remember you wanted to shout out for?
Mr. Borgerding probably had the biggest influence on me going into college anyway.
Why?
I think I learned the most about writing from him. So
Do you still write?
for my job, I do. Not creatively anymore, but
How about you, Dena?
I'm really bad with names, but I very much remember faces. So our German teacher,
Frau Perry.
Frau Perry, that's it. All I can remember was Frau Troyer from middle school. But I think there was a time in college where I had German every day and I could organize my day auf Deutsch and feel like I owe her a debt because some days you could just tell she was not feeling our unruly German class, but she put in Mel Jacobson. I didn't take a lot of art, but that was one where I felt like he sort of told me it was okay to go to the University of Minnesota because he said, you know, why would you take classes from people who are using other people's books when you could go to the school where they wrote the books? And as an American Studies major, coming to DC to do grad school, and a friend of a friend went to Georgetown, and I remember going to a party and they're like, oh, University of Minnesota, do you know David Noble? And I'm like, well, yeah, I took classes from him. They're like, oh, and so I kind of felt like Mel sort of was like, go where your heart tells you to go. Whereas, you know, Joe Bart's like would get so annoyed because I'd be sitting in her class or in her room being like, I don't know where I want to go to college.
Yeah. She helped me with that too.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mel was always good at giving he gave so many students advice, just that your choices are okay and live with them and enjoy them and embrace them. So
yes,
that's very
and if they don't
cool.
work out, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna lighten it up and try and share my screen with this really ridiculous photo. Please bear with me. Does anyone see this photo?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. What is this photo? Kathy?
You remember, don't you?
Oh, no, not at all.
You don't?
Jenny Anderson.
No.
Okay, so that was the night that we coordinated with Jenny's mom that we were going to kidnap her. It was maybe a birthday, Chris? I can't really remember, but it was all coordinated. She was going to keep her home and knew that we were coming. And I don't know what I was wearing because I took that picture, but we all dressed up like that and kidnapped her, put her in the car. I don't remember whose dad, maybe Chris, maybe your dad, because that's your house in your basement. And then we went back to Chris's and stayed all night.
And who's between me and Chris?
Dena.
Oh,
Really?
Gotta be.
Those were those stockings that I was saying you were wearing.
wow.
There's another one.
Oh my
Marnie,
gosh.
there's another one of you dancing. That is also that night.
Okay. I'm
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I
that's funny.
think like with a Mickey Mouse sweatshirt or something on. That was from the same evening. I don't know if you can see what you're.
Here's one. Let me try.
Oh, I remember your old house, Chris.
I'm resuming share. Hold on.
Paneled wood basement.
Yeah.
That's about as fancy as I can get.
Okay.
You guys put a photo of me up in Mr. Graf's window, his classroom window, and wouldn't let me take it down for one of my.
For a birthday?
Yes, you guys remember that?
Vaguely, now that you mention it. I don't know what picture it was though.
Oh, it was clearly a beautiful. You know, it was.
Was it the one, do you, can you picture it? Was it the one with that blue sweater with the little things across?
The sweater, I don't remember, but I had a fabulously permed hair and
Okay.
I think I was just dancing, but it wasn't the tutu one.
Okay. Because I sent Marnie a dancing one with the blue sweater in her basement. And it might have been that one.
I remember the blue sweater now. Yes, a
It
Scandinavian.
had like just little designs. Well, there's Marnie dancing.
That's awesome.
And that's
On
part
the
of Jenny.
boombox.
And don't you look like Calliope there, Marnie?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, and that's
Yeah.
Jenny.
totally. Dye your hair blue and it's your daughter.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna try and do one more. It's a little bit of multitasking. I don't think I can.
Okay.
This is so great. Well, so so now all of you get to ask me one question for the 50th birthday show. If you want.
When are you coming to Denver?
Well, I'm fully vaccinated.
Me too.
Easy flight.
Coincidence? I am so excited to see you in my 50th year. I haven't been on an airplane, and I have to do my pitch. Portland might be more fun.
I don't know. Denver's pretty awesome now.
Denver is pretty nice. My sister used to
Yeah.
live out there. It's pretty nice.
It's pretty hip now.
You're gonna have to go to both each other's and then just
Yeah, it's an easy flight.
Kate and I will just make a loop and we'll like drop
Yes.
people on and off, and that way you get everybody's like little history, and that's like the retirement tour. There you go.
yes.
Like that. Yeah.
Are you gonna be
All in.
or are you gonna like go to another country again?
Who, me?
Yeah. Are you
Oh,
gonna
we're-
be there for a while?
We're definitely open to it. COVID has kind of put a damper on that, but we're happy here now and we'll just see what the future brings.
Well, I have to email you we have a KHOP88 guest map. So there are other people from our class in Colorado.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, well, I accept your invitation.
Good. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any like questions for me?
Yeah, I have a question. I
Yeah.
want to know, and I wouldn't mind it from everyone, but we'll start with you at least, birthday girl. I would like to know where your favorite vacation was.
Well, my favorite vacation place probably is Croatia. I loved visiting Croatia. I was there 2 years ago, so it, like the Adriatic Sea is warm. Everyone was it was gorgeous. It was not too fancy.
I've had friends that have been there. They love it.
It was the most easily accessible place to visit in Europe, in my opinion. As someone who likes the beach.
Were
And
you an exchange student there? Did you
Well,
go for?
I spent a month in Croatia, but I was an exchange student in Yugoslavia.
That's it. Okay.
In the state of Slovenia. I spent 2 months in Slovenia and 1 month off the coast of Croatia before the civil war, the war between Serbia and Croatia. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to go back. But it's just like great seafood, great water, and just totally chill for Europe.
Yeah, my roommate in high school at Madison was Croatian.
Yeah. I love that. But I like travel. I appreciate the adventure of everywhere I visit, whether it was visiting Decorah, Iowa, or Croatia, or whatever.
Right.
How about
Dena?
anyone else?
Dena?
Oh, my question for Marnie?
No,
Or-
where would you go on
Either.
vacation? We're still on Kathy's question.
Oh God.
Or were your
I can't
favorite place to
remember
go?
if you went, you know what? After COVID, like we were trying to think of where were we going for, August, because that's usually when we travel. And I just looked at Jim and I'm like, I'm tired of camping. I'm hiking. I would like to do something in a city. And this was before like the vaccine had been out, but like, I would like to go to, my favorite place to go, I think that I've been recently has been St. John. just because of the park space and the beaches. And I also, I like France. It makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I love France. I lived there for 2 years
Oh,
when I was young. But yeah, go to France. France is awesome. One of my favorite places is New Orleans. I love New Orleans if you haven't been there.
I've never
Food's
been.
amazing.
I haven't
Food's
either.
amazing.
Gina, put it
Culture's
on our list.
amazing. Yep, it's fantastic. And just do all the tourist stuff. You know, Bourbon Street's kind of gross, but everything else is great. Preservation Hall is great. The old jazz museum. You can go to the Mardi Gras warehouse and tour it, where they store all the floats.
Thanks.
Really cool place. There's an incredible World War II museum.
Mhm.
You can just take like tours around different neighborhoods, and it's really cool.
The ride
So.
on the bus is actually worth it.
Yeah, the ride on the bus. Get a bus pass. They have a bus that goes around, and you can just hop on and off it for the tourists, and it's super entertaining, and it's not expensive. So.
How about you, Leigh?
Huh. I think I would have to say the Pacific Northwest, somewhere out there. I know.
Come to Bend.
I have not been to Bend. When my daughter was looking at schools, the only thing that she knew out of the gate was that she did not want to be in the Midwest. And so she and I started traveling and just making college visits into our vacation. So one of my favorites was when we did University of Washington and Lewis and Clark and a bunch of other ones, and then University of Oregon. And so I want to go back there when it's just a vacation instead of having things to do. So yes, Marnie, clap your hands. Well, it's on my list. So I never got to California while you were there. I know we tried for a while, but
It's better
maybe
than
once in-
Oregon. Okay, Ms. Retired Air Traffic Controller, where would you go on a plane?
Well, there's plenty of places I would go, but my favorite place that I've been to so far, I think, was Sri Lanka. That was
Wow.
really a really fun trip.
Wow.
It was just so different. Every hotel, we stayed in different hotels. My husband's parents taught there. And so like we stayed in their house, and they did not live like by most of the other teachers. They wanted to live with the local people. So it was a great experience, great neighborhood. It was just really, really nice. It was the first time I ever had to go through a checkpoint with a guy with a machine gun, making sure and honestly, they didn't care. I never felt unsafe because they didn't care about the tourists. They wanted the tourist money. They were more concerned about my driver than me. I never felt unsafe, but it was, the first time that I was really that close to people walking around with machine guns. But it's a beautiful country, and it was before the tsunami. So we traveled all over. It was just beautiful.
What about
And
you?
France for Dena. Took my girls to France too. And they lived in Latvia. My in-laws have lived many places. So Latvia was fun too, but.
What about you, Chris? Do you go on vacations?
Oh, yes, but the vacation that I'm actually planning and most excited about is to the Boundary Waters. I haven't seen my dad in over 2 years. My mom passed away many years ago. And so we are reuniting up in the Boundary Waters this summer, and I can't wait because it's always held such a it's always been a special place for me. And so I'm really looking forward to going up there, and we'll all stay up at a cabin, and I'll see my sister and my brother and their families. And so I'm really looking forward to that. It's for everyone. It's been a long COVID year.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure to send you photos of our trip to the Boundary Waters.
Yes, please do, because so many of my memories sank. So any pictures you guys have, I would appreciate.
Sure.
Well, we have spent an hour together, and we could all spend 10 more hours together and have a slumber party. But Doug, can you check in on the audience and see if there's any other funny read off? Sometimes Heather Thorson leaves very funny memories.
She, I don't think is watching right
Well,
now.
it's okay. We didn't go to middle school together.
While
Mike
you're
Hance,
looking,
Mike Hance said, try oysters at Angelino's Tavern and wings at Fire in the Mountains in Denver.
Okay, I will. Good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Kathy?
oh, I just, while you were searching for other comments and stuff, I just wanted to remember a friend of ours that have passed, that I have a fond memory for. And I think most people wouldn't really expect that we were friends, but he was a really special friend to me. You guys remember Jason Mellick? We were together in DECA, and I thought we were like the odd couple friends because we were very, very different. If you remember him at all, we were very different. But since I worked at Pier 1 for so many years after school, I worked there a lot of summers, he came in one summer and we just started talking and decided we were going to go out to dinner. And it was like one of the most fun nights I'd ever had. It was just that was the last time I ever saw him, because then I went back to school and he went on his way and everything. But I just really had a great time that night. And it was so fun because it was someone so different from me, but we totally got along and, were able to ask questions or just be respectful of each other's differences. And I can't believe how good of friends we were. But yeah, so he's no longer with us, and we just wanted everybody to take a minute and think of our friends that aren't here.
Well, one of the reasons we started the show, Chris, I didn't know if Jason told you, was for our friend Paul Beneke.
Oh,
And we wanted to be able to remember him and Megan and all the people.
Crystal.
Crystal. And so I appreciate you bringing up Jason, Kathy. It's something that's important for us and their children, so they can hear some wonderful stories about their parents on YouTube someday. So, well, thank you, everyone. This is really amazing.
Thanks everyone for sharing memories.
well, thank you for organizing.
Happy birthday, Marnie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, young ladies. You're always young ladies to me. Okay. Well, we'll see you on the flip side.
See you later. Great to see
Anybody
everyone.
makes it to DC, let me know.
Love you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Gina.
Love you so much.
Bye.
Bye.